Hi guys, welcome to Origin. There's quite a few videos that I could put this as a response to. I'll decide once it's up. But I want to talk about the right to complain. In the recent wave of times that it's come up, it first came up on Coughlin's video, One Atheist's Inspiration. I put in a text comment what I'm about to say now on that video. Nothing ever came of it, no one replied or anything like that. That's fine. I don't expect that to happen, but that's what this video is here for. The argument goes like this. What right do I have to complain when people like Jackie from that video survived a fire and, they're bravely facing it. They're facing the consequences, they face the actual event. What right have I got to complain when people like that suffer more? Don't get me wrong, I understand where you're coming from, but I completely disagree. I would say complain as loud as you like about whatever you want. I don't tend to do it myself for reasons which have nothing whatsoever to do with hypocrisy, but that's a topic for another video. If you don't complain, then it will all build up. You will get more and more depressed and frustrated. Trust me on that. Also, think about the logic behind this argument as well. Think about where it's coming from. I can understand people being offended by someone complaining about lesser suffering or what they perceive to be lesser suffering if they're nearby. But let's take the example of Jackie. How likely is it that she's watching Coughlin's videos? Call me crazy, but I don't see Jackie complaining about some English guy she's never met, complaining about the things that's happening in his life because she perceives his suffering to be less. And also I want to emphasize what I said about perception of suffering. To do this, I'd like to hear something I frequently hear on the radio here in Scotland. I hear anytime a story has come up about some movie star or successful musician who's gone on a drug binge or something like that, or they've attempted suicide or shaved off all their hair or they've gone into rehab or something like that. They always say something like, oh, poor so-and-so with their millions of dollars and fame and everything like that. The fallacy is how great can the suffering of someone who has such incredible fame and millions of dollars actually be? They're so much wealthier than us, they've satisfied their life's ambitions. But just 2 seconds of actual observation shows that it just doesn't work like that. Once you get something you want, the novelty of that wears off and then you have new problems to deal with. Suffering isn't caused by poor quality of living conditions, it's caused by a decrease in the quality of living conditions. Also, what one person perceives to be good or bad might not be what another person perceives to be good or bad. Let's take an example. Suppose there's a troll on YouTube. There's two different people, there's me and someone else. The other person has this troll attack them and, they really hate it. They're affected by the troll's insults to the point where they cry themselves to sleep every night. Okay, it's an extreme example, but whatever. And then the same troll leaves the same insults on my comment section and I just find it entertaining and think of something witty to say in reply to them. Likewise, let's say someone wants a DVD of The Dark Knight for Christmas and they get that. Then that's going to make them feel a lot better. But let's say that someone wants, let's say, a car, but they instead get a DVD of The Dark Knight. It's not going to make them feel the same way. In fact, they're probably going to be quite bummed that they didn't get the car. Now, you can call that second person ungrateful as much as you like. It doesn't change the fact that they wanted a car and they didn't get one. So, all they could do is pretend to be satisfied by that. Likewise, taking the whole argument of, I don't have the right to complain. Let's say that I truly believed that and I was in some terrible situation. Not complaining doesn't change the fact that I'm still suffering. And if we take this line of thought and we boil it down to its logical conclusion, then only one person on earth would have the right to complain. And even then, seeing as how suffering is rooted in perception, how would you ever identify that person? Is it some kid in Africa? Is it someone with cancer? Is it someone with AIDS? Who? How? So I encourage you guys to complain all you like. Basically, probably best to do it in the sense of asking for help when you need it. Like if you're in a tough situation, you know, ask for help. Ask for someone to come to your side, someone to help you out any way they can. But don't just sit there and let it all build up. In fact, I've had an idea. If you agree with what I've said in this video, then what I think we should do is all band together and try and defeat this stigma that's around complaining. So what I'd like you guys to do is post a video response of you complaining about anything you like. I'll get the ball rolling here. I don't have that much money. There are no job vacancies going around, and I have the same social paranoia as Manix the Pirate. Thank you. Goodbye.